somewhere along the way, you didn't just start leading the system, you replaced it. Not because you were trying to control everything, but because you were the only one who could hold it together. So you did. And you kept holding it together. You kept doing it. But now that means that everything is running through you. Not really because it has to, as much as because you have trained it to. And I know that's not easy to hear. I know that's the part that stings. And I know that you have been calling that leadership, but if everything depends on you, that's not leadership. In fact, that's a system that was never built, which probably wasn't your intention when you started on this journey, when you started on this path, but that's where you are. But let's take it a little deeper because it's more than surface level leadership and control. This isn't just operational, right? This is also spiritual, faith, trust, belief, letting go, allowing. Because at some point, the truth is you probably stopped trusting anything that wasn't you in your business, not your team, not the process, not even your faith. Because if you did, you wouldn't feel the need to hold everything together. When we lean in to our faith and to trust, then we know that inside knowing that faith isn't proven in what you can carry. It's revealed in what you're willing to release. And right now, my friend, you are likely holding on to things that were never assigned to you. Because control feels like leadership sometimes. But in reality, when we are not leaning into our faith and into our trust, you find yourself inside of every single decision. You find that your team waits instead of moves. You find that you are solving the same problems on repeat, even when you're off, like on vacation for the night, the weekend. You're not. You're still involved, still hands-on. Now, that isn't really burnout. It's more of what I call a structural dependency. You see, you didn't just build a business. You built yourself right into it. Much like we become our own worst boss and our 24/7 employee. You built yourself right into it so deeply that now your presence is required for it to function, or so it feels. So we believe when we're not fully into our faith and into leaning into our trust. But here's the actual truth. This didn't happen to you. We oftentimes want to believe that this is happening to us, but it's not. The truth is, you trained it. You have trained your business. You have trained your system that every time you answered it instead of asking, fixed it instead of coaching your team, stepped in instead of stepping back and allowing others to step up, you reinforce the pattern. Until now. Because I'm here to tell you that you don't need to lead the system. You are the system. But let's stop sugarcoating this for a moment. Let's talk about the cost. If your business only works when you're holding it together, at least on the outside, we'll get to the inside. then I'm afraid I have to tell you that you don't have a business. You have a dependency. And dependencies don't scale. They break, but they don't scale. And oftentimes the break happens pretty slowly at first. And then all of a sudden, it's everything at once. You've been there. And you know that pressure that you feel. You know why. Now, we might want to blame it on all of the circumstances, all of the existential factors, but deep down, you know that doesn't hold. You know where the accountability is. By looking in that mirror, you know who's actually responsible for the way your business has been designed and structured. So now you're at a decision point. Are you willing to release some of that control before something forces you to, because you know it will? We've seen it time and time again. Through sickness, through burnout, through breakdown, through something not holding as you imagined it would. And you feel the pressure, you feel the exhaustion. Or you can choose. You can choose to shift your patterns, your behaviors, your leadership model. You get to decide because you're always at choice. You get to decide. Are you done being the one everything depends on all the time, 24/7? Because you were never called to be the system. You were called to build something that reflects order, not dependency. Again, where's your faith? Where's your trust? Where are you going to let go? Stop being the answer. Start building answers into the system. I know that doesn't sound easy, but start pushing your ownership down and redefining your leadership. Who are you when you are fully in faith, fully in trust, fully willing to let some of it go? Because that's not failing. You didn't fail. You stepped into a pattern of overfunctioning. And now your system, your business, reflects that. But right here and right now, this is the moment that you can change it. First, recognize and believe you are not the system. And if something in you just tightened when you heard me say you are not the system, good. Starting to let go of control. That's where the shift actually begins. So sit with that and lean farther into your faith and your trust and the patterns of how you want your leadership to be showing up and how you want your business to function.
Leadership isn't what you perform, it's what you embody. If this conversation resonated, share it with someone ready to lead differently. And remember, when your faith ignites your fire amplifies your frequency. Until next time.